Hi everyone, we are going to eat today.
I'm not allowed to film the dogs. Where's the Michelin? It used to be served to kings. Ugh, I almost threw up, guys. Guys, a Vietnamese woman is trying to feed me worms. Trying it isn't scary, the consequences are. Gotta disinfect all this. Very weird and disgusting. In this box, this woman is a chef. Terrible, terrible. Let's take a look. Today, guys, I'm doing an experiment. I'll be visiting Vietnamese chief-on restaurants and trying the most unusual Vietnamese food, describing what it tastes like, what it's made of, and, of course, trying not to get food poisoning. I'm not allowed to film the dogs. First, let's figure out where we even are. We're in the heart of Hanoi. That's the capital of Vietnam. A beautiful, wild, and chaotic city. A true mix of different cultures. Many countries tried to colonize Vietnam, and in the second half of the 19th century, France succeeded. The French transformed Hanoi into one of the most developed and modern cities in the region. They also introduced Vietnam to coffee, baguettes, and dairy products. In return, they took back the tradition of eating frogs. A fun fact I learned from the locals. It's 8 a.m. now, and we've just arrived at the famous Train Street, a place like no other. We're here for a quick cup of egg coffee, a true specialty of Hanoi. Train Street is famous for two things. First, the legendary egg coffee that tourists love. Second, the train that passes inches away from the cafes lining this street. Locals say it's perfectly safe if you follow the rules. But unfortunately, not everyone does. Accidents happen here from time to time, and there have even been fatalities. After an incident, the local authorities usually close this street, then reopen it after some time. By the way, the coffee is really good. I highly recommend trying Vietnamese coffee. But now we're off to try something truly unusual, something you've never had before. Let's go.
Do you know where we're going right now?
We decided not to say right away what dish we're going to try, because honestly, not everyone would want to eat it. This restaurant is located in the Hoan Kiem district. It looks nicer than typical Vietnamese street food places. Maybe that's one reason why it's Michelin recommended. Bánh Quan is one of Vietnam's oldest dishes. Its history dates back to ancient times during the reign of the Le dynasty in the 11th century. This dish originated in northern Vietnam, in the Hanoi region, and its name actually means rolled pancake. Thin rice batter is steamed, then filled with meat, mushrooms, various spices, and rolled up. It's also believed that this idea came from China since they had similar dishes, but the Vietnamese adapted it, making it more delicate and adding fresh herbs and spices. Alright guys, here's our first spot. Now we are going to try Bánh Quan. Here's what the restaurant looks like. It's 8 a.m. but it's already packed. It's Sunday. They're making banh quin right here. I'm adding what's needed. You can see the meat, mushrooms, crispy fried onions. The steam is rising. The cooking process is in full swing, a very popular spot. And as you can see, Michelin recommends this place. Looks delicious. I can't wait to try it. But more importantly, we came here not just to try this dish, but also to try water bugs, because they serve them here. Let's see what they look like. I've never had this before, but it sounds absolutely terrible. Let's take a look. In some regions of Vietnam, water bug essence is added to the batter to give the dish a special aroma. This ingredient is considered a delicacy. Guys, we just ordered the bugs, but our friend named Huyen has no idea. She thinks we just ordered Bánh Quan, nothing special. So we're waiting for the bugs. Let's give them a try.
Here we go, let's try.
Before we eat this dish, we need to put it in this shoe to make a shower. You just order that?
Guys, the chef says it's delicious. Honestly, if I didn't know what was in here, I'd think it was some kind of mushroom. Take a look. Actually, 6 years in Vietnam, and I'm not afraid to try anything anymore. The only thing, I just don't want to get food poisoning. Here we go. It's terribly tasteless. I almost threw up a little. Seriously, not the best experience.
Put in. We mix this.
Ah, that's for flavor, not for eating, right?
Yeah, for flavor.
I'm already scared to try it.
This is the first time.
On top you can see fried onions, inside mushrooms, meat and rice, batter. Hyun is taking the first bite, some kind of delicacy.
So how that? Good, yeah?
Good.
How does it taste?
Tastes like a normal, but the flavor is better.
Опускаем.
Dipping it into our bug-infused sauce.
Клоповничный соус. That's nice.
Tastes like Duchesse pear soda. Guys, who's had Duchesse before? The bugs give it this sweet, fizzy Duchesse-like taste. Yeah, it reminds me of meat-filled pancake, but with a sort of minty aftertaste to the dish. I just keep thinking about the fact that these are bugs. I can't get it out of my head.
Не отпускает.
Well, it's time to pay. As you all know, in Asia, everything is done via QR codes now. Cash is practically gone. This dish with the bugs cost about 180,000 Vietnamese dong. Now we're heading to the next location, but Huyen hasn't told us where yet. She says it's a surprise. Guys, we're approaching the next spot. I asked Huyen what is that amazing smell. She told me it's a dish made with worms. You wouldn't guess just by looking at it. I thought some kind of egg-based dish, but definitely not worms. It looks like little egg bites, but definitely not worms. So not scary to try, but the consequences might be. This dish is called... It's a rare seasonal dish made from, you won't believe this, sandworms. But this dish actually has a very interesting history. In Vietnam, these worms appear only twice a year in autumn, during the rainy season when they rise to the surface en masse and they're harvested by hand. Culinary historians believe this dish was created several hundred years ago, when Vietnamese cuisine was developing under the influence of both Chinese and local traditions. And as the Vietnamese told me, the special thing about this dish is that they add mandarin peel to it, which gives it a milder taste, not as strong as if you were eating pure marine worms. The Vietnamese also believe that cha dê warms the body and improves circulation, which is why they eat it in the colder months. Thank you for the meal. For the protein junkies, gym bros, tell me in the comments, would you eat this if it was cheaper than chicken? Here we go, let's try it.
How is that?
It's good.
Good, yeah?
Here we go.
It's so good.
It's very soft. I feel
Greens, fat, soft texture, and the realization that I'm eating worms. But if I didn't know they were worms, I would think eggs with greens, maybe a slight hint of orange zest.
not bad, you know, not bad.
We tried the bugs, we tried the sea worms, and now I don't even know what's next. But I wouldn't eat that anymore. I think I will stop at the second piece of this lovely dish.
How many points?
Maybe 5 out of 10.
I would give this dish 3 out of 10. No more, no more. 230.
Một trà đá là 235.
Hacha balam
235,000 Vietnamese dong is almost $10.
QR here. QR.
Honestly, I didn't plan to take any with me, but the owner of this place offered it to me and I felt awkward refusing. Just the worms. We'll share them with our friends.
Where are we going now? Come on.
We will go to eat bún ngan.
Bunyan.
I don't know what this is, but I think it'll be interesting. As Hoyen advised me, in Vietnam, you should choose food by its smell. And we came across another interesting place. There's an intriguing duck aroma coming from a roadside stall. They're making duck and chicken noodle soup here. This is boiled blood. Bun nan is the name of the soup with poultry, and it looks like duck. But there's one special feature. This soup is usually served with boiled blood. You'll see for yourselves now. This is a traditional Vietnamese duck dish with a rich broth and rice noodles. It's very popular, especially in Hanoi, because it was originally created in the city and the recipe has been passed down through generations. You can find places like this in small alleyways, just like this one. The exact origins of bún ngan are unknown, but people say it appeared several centuries ago in Vietnam. Ducks were raised, interestingly, in Christian families, as duck meat was considered affordable. Tiet is coagulated blood. It's usually made from duck or pig's blood, unlike another blood dish called tiet can, which has actually led to recorded deaths in the past. This blood dish is safe. Let's try the duck blood soup.
By the way, what's the name of this dish?
Bún ngan. It's called bún ngan.
Bunyan, not Bunyan.
Bún ngan.
Bunyan.
Yeah.
Bunyan. Very hard to pronounce. What does it include? What ingredients?
They have this one, this part of the pork. They call tiết.
Is it blood?
Yeah.
Кровь.
Măng.
Bamboo?
Yeah, bamboo.
Это, друзья, бамбук.
This ngan.
Meat of what? Duck?
Meat of duck. And another is pork with a mushroom. Another mushroom, of course. They have a leaf and bún. Okay, let's try.
Friends, this looks way better than what I ate earlier today, and it smells really good.
Очень вкусно.
It's good. This is my favorite.
Friends, this looks appetizing. Honestly, I'm not scared to try it. Except for this piece, I have no idea what it is. It's meat and mushrooms. Let's taste the broth first. Very tasty. The duck broth isn't too fatty, just the way I like it. And this sauce with pepper and garlic adds to the flavor. It has an interesting aftertaste, a bit spicy, a bit peppery. They brought us more blood. That's one of the reasons we're here, to try duck blood. It looks like jelly. Let's try it. Soft. Softer than jelly. I really like it. When you chew it, it's slightly sticky. A very neutral dish. So even for us Europeans, very interesting taste.
That's good.
Yeah.
By the way, Huan told me that this soup with blood is eaten after a handover to better recover and restore the water-salt balance. So write it down. You might be wondering, why do they eat this? I'll tell you, there's a solid reason for it. In ancient Vietnam, the population density was high, and resources, especially food, were scarce. That's why the concept of zero-waste production became so popular. Zero-waste consumption is part of the culture and food traditions. Vietnamese people eat literally everything. By the way, friends, as you may notice, this little restaurant doesn't have much space and the tables are quite small. So what do the Vietnamese do in this case? First of all, they have tiny plastic stools for each visitor, and sometimes they place utensils, napkins or trash bin directly on the floor. That's how Vietnam, especially Hanoi, deals with the lack of space. What do you think about this? Would you visit a place like this? where people sit on the cheapest plastic stools. Also, friends, for dessert we have two drinks.
This is guava juice. This is called tea. Kind of a dessert after we eat something.
It looks really nice.
I think I can eat like 2 desserts at once. Not too sweet, not too fat.
The place is very nice. The food is super clean and delicious, so I recommend it. Great chef, let's move on. Friends, Huyên and I found another cool spot where right by the road some people are already eating literally on the street. They're grilling delicious skewers, at least that's how they smell. Let's take a look at how it looks.
What's that? What's that? What's that? What do they cook? Thịt xương nướng.
Yeah, this is
Friends, you can see the name of this dish. These are skewers. Vietnamese grilled skewers on sticks. I also see sausages over there. There's a fan set up here. Lots of people. A small queue. And behind me you can see the road, supermarkets, some buildings and apartments. Some movement here. I can see that a woman is already sitting with her table right on the road. This type of street food called
Thịt xương nướng.
it is very popular in Vietnam. First of all, it's convenient. You can just pull up on your motorbike, order a couple of skewers and keep going. Secondly, it's cheap. Even a school kid can afford it. You just stop by, order some grilled meat and right away. Convenient, cheap and hospitable. As you can see, friends, the meat is cut into small pieces and, as they say, marinated in fish sauce, soy sauce, garlic, onion and greens. Smells delicious. I can't wait to try it. Although charcoal grills existed since ancient times, they became widely used for street food after the wars. As sad as it sounds, wars and their consequences actually contributed to the development of street food in Vietnam. Due to poverty and food shortages, street food became extremely popular. There weren't many restaurants and cooking outside was cheap and convenient. That's why small charcoal grills revolutionized the food industry. Looks really appetizing. As you can see, served on skewers, cut into small pieces, so it cooks quickly. With various sauces like mayonnaise, chili, ketchup, and vegetables like cucumber, carrot, and parsley.
Kстати, what about this?
This is honey bread. Honey bread.
It looks sweet, right?
Yeah.
You think it's tasty, like combination of salty food, barbecued and sweet bread.
Yeah, that is so suitable to eat.
Wanna try?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try, guys. Deep into the sauce.
Yeah, deep in the sauce.
Let's try it.
It's good. And another of the bread.
At the same time.
No. Maybe same time or whatever you want.
I love it. You know, I love it.
Friends, this is truly delicious. First of all, because the pieces are small but soak up the flavors well. You can really taste the different sauces like garlic, soy sauce, fish sauce. And this whole mix just melts in your mouth. Charcoal grilled honey bread.
Sweet.
It's like dessert, not like the main dish.
Yeah.
Just a meter away from our skewers, they're cooking a pretty interesting dish called ban quai choy. The man lays out slices of potato and on top of them slices of banana, dips it all in batter and deep fries it. Looks fascinating. Would you like to try fried potatoes with bananas? To be honest, most dishes here feel more like snacks rather than full meals, which makes sense since this little eatery is located on the beer street Ta Hien. But we came here specifically to try fried quails.
We will eat the chim, no? Maybe?
Friends, look at how many dishes they have. Just a huge variety. But today we are here for the fried quail, because it's one of the most popular street foods in Vietnam. Let's see what it looks like and how it tastes.
This dish is special. You need to try it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
The cooking method seems quite simple. Pre-marinated quails are taken out of the fridge in a plastic bag and dropped into boiling oil. Since the chef is experienced, she determines by color when the birds are ready and takes them out, then cuts them into pieces with scissors, which, by the way, is very convenient, and tops them with bay leaves and fried garlic. That's it, ready to be served. By the way, an interesting fact. Vietnamese people believe that quail meat improves vision. Honestly, it looks a bit dry. So friends, this is what the quail looks like. Quite a small bird. I don't even know what exactly you're supposed to eat here. But as the Vietnamese say, the meat is very tender. For them, it's a delicacy. If you didn't know, Vietnamese people like to chew on bones and parts with unusual textures. Let's start with the quail's neck. Very tender meat. They also eat it with sauce, chili, pepper, lemongrass, and a citrus juice like mandarin.
Yummy.
Tender, delicious meat, but to actually get full, I think you need at least 4 plates of these quails. But the meat is really tasty, I like it. So fried quail and any other street food is one of the reasons why McDonald's isn't as popular here. By the way, do you like fried quail?
Yes, it's really delicious.
Yeah, really tasty. At first glance it might seem like there's nothing special about it, but since the quail is marinated in different sauces like fish sauce plus lemongrass, various herbs, and left to marinate for 2 to 4 hours. When it's cooked, after that, you eat it and you taste all these different flavors, the combination of flavors, plus the crispy fried crust. It really is, as Huyen said, a great snack to go with beer. Well, for those who like beer, of course. So, friends, we're done with the quail, time to move on. But what rating does Huyen give this dish? How much?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Not bad, not bad. I'd also give it an 8, 9 out of 10. Cool, unusual, tasty, but not enough. So order more. Let's move on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Поехали.
Yeah.
Wow, friends, Huyen suggested we try another interesting dish. What's this? What's this?
What's that?
Fried gray ink with tomato.
I will try to describe this dish to you. This dish is made from fertilized eggs cooked in sauce. They open it and you can still see parts of the little bird inside the egg. It has small bones, maybe even a beak. What do you think, friends? Should we give it a try or not? The atmosphere here is incredible. It's truly a great place. Whatever I showed you in the picture, they can make it right here in this little box. Where is Michelin? As they say, it's better to see something once than to hear about it 100 times. First, you need to take fertilized quail eggs. After about 2 weeks, an embryo forms inside the egg. This is the period when they collect the eggs and cook them. Now, as you can see, our cook is peeling them. To make this dish, you need a sauce, and the bottle should definitely be from a soda. In this sauce, the eggs are brought to a boil. Here, our chef is also adding some nuts and a little greenery. We will try it now. Honestly, it looks really unusual.
Do you think it's good?
Yeah.
So try first.
To someone not from Vietnamese culture, this might seem very strange and gross. But we're not afraid to try it. So let's see what it tastes like. The customer says it's tasty, let's give it a try.
It's good.
Very good.
And you will eat with the sleeve.
Thank you.
By the way, they eat fresh leaves of some plant. It's not the only dish, there are many varieties. The taste is half of the egg is soft, half is a little tough, like the yolk. But this time I don't feel the beak or anything like that because I tried bigger eggs and I felt it there. But I see it's probably unhatched feathers. I might be wrong. The flavor is actually quite enjoyable. The taste is not bad, even though this dish looks disgusting to some, but it used to be served to kings, to nobles, because it was very expensive. Now almost anyone can afford it. Friends, Huyen said she knows a cool place with desserts where they have this colorful mess, so to speak, with different additions. I hope we'll have time to go there because it's almost 6 o'clock. Huyen says it's very tasty, Vietnamese traditional dessert dish, we'll see how it looks, but of course we'll try it. Friends, we accidentally stumbled upon this, I don't know what to call it, a cart on wheels, where someone sells food. I see meat, I see octopus, I want to try octopus. I have never tasted before. Friends, look how cool this looks. We're practically in the middle of this street, a woman is standing on the road. She brought her cart, by the way, it looks very photogenic, I like it. I'm starting to like it less. First of all, we got closer and we immediately ordered to save time, but I noticed that all the food was frozen. I think it's the same story with the octopus, but up close it doesn't look as attractive as it does from afar. Well, we've already ordered. We'll try it. Well, shall we try our poor octopus by the road?
Let's do it.
Let's go, friends.
That's cool. I like it.
The aroma of charcoal, spices, they also added some red pepper here. Tasty.
That's good, yeah?
Just in case we have some pepper to disinfect everything. Friends, how much do you think this cost us?
How much for that?
160,000 dong. Not bad. After we finished eating the octopus, we went for dessert, as planned. But unfortunately, what we feared happened. Friends, unfortunately, we didn't make it to our location with the signature dish, che, but Huyen says, guys, I have something more interesting for you. What is it?
This is called sausage cake.
ChatGPT says that the story of this dessert began more than 100 years ago in the Hantan area. Their sellers of green rice invented a new way of preparing it. That's how the dessert appeared. But honestly, I doubt the authenticity of this information. I think it's just a Vietnamese version of the Japanese dessert mochi. By the way, banh com is a mandatory wedding gift. The Vietnamese believe that the green color symbolizes fertility and the sweet feeling symbolizes harmony and happiness. The time on the watches is already 7 p.m. and it's time for dessert. I'm very hungry. Let's taste and find what's inside.
Tell me please how much for one piece?
6K per one.
It's so cheap. A little bit more than 25 cents. I would like to try red and black. I'm sure you want a pink, right?
Yeah.
Can we have, please, red one, black one? What about the inside? It's different or same?
Inside they will have the beans and the same.
Same beans.
Just
yeah.
the same,
Just
different color. Yeah. And each color they make by the what? By the fruit. By the fruit.
Oh, the color by fruits, yeah? Thank you.
This is how it looks, friends. The seller doesn't want to take money.
They're free. Yeah, it's free.
This is only possible in Vietnam.
Come on.
This is for free, guys.
Unpacking this beautiful dessert with strawberries. Actually, we didn't manage to do what we planned, but I couldn't leave you without a dessert. I think this dessert is no less interesting for you. Look at how it glitters in the light. It has a slightly firmer consistency than a jelly, and as you take a bite you encounter small bits of beans. These beans enhance the overall flavor of the jelly, giving it a unique and pleasantly surprising texture. Again, it's a low-calorie product. For those on a diet, it works.
What do you think about this?
It's good.
It's good, yeah?
Not too sweet. This. They have a bean in here. Bean.
As you can see behind us, there's a huge variety of such cakes. I'll be honest, in terms of taste, they're so-so. And they serve as decorations at Vietnamese weddings. By the way, if you haven't seen our previous video about a Vietnamese wedding, be sure to check it out. Many thanks to everyone who has watched up to this point. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and wait for the next videos. Bye!
Bye.